Euro 2024 could have a big impact on some of Chelsea's transfer activity. Not only have the Blues in the past shown an impulse to sign players that perform well on the big stage, but it is also a shop window effect, with exits just as important as arrivals this summer for Chelsea's push to remain compliant with Premier League financial rules, though not for the 2023-24 season, which the club are adamant they will meet without the need for sale. It is a big month or so coming up. Two of those who could land themselves moves are Armando Broja and Ian Maatsen. The pair are both coming off contrasting seasons as well. Maatsen, like Broja, was rarely used under Mauricio Pochettino before he left on loan in January, where he went on to excel at Borussia Dortmund. Broja, though, left to join Fulham in search of more minutes. Now they're two of a group that Chelsea are expected to part ways with before the start of the 2024-25 season begins. As academy graduates who represent pure profit, on the accounts, they are deemed the most sellable assets. Whereas there is no ceiling to the amount that Chelsea could bring in for Broja, there is a decreasing floor. Having previously been after as much as £50 million, that is now closer to just £35 million. Getting even that much for a player, without much of a Premier League record, will also be a challenge. He had been on his holidays this week following the Champions League final with Borussia Dortmund, but now he is set to play a role for Ronald Koeman in Germany. Following injuries to both Teun Koopmeiners and Frenkie de Jong, Maatsen has been called up. He will join the Dutch team at their training camp in Wolfsburg, ahead of the tournament. Despite not being a like-for-like replacement for either of the two midfielders, Maatsen does have experience playing centrally. The 22-year-old often played there for the Holland youth sides and naturally inverted for Burnley under Vincent Kompany during the 2022-23 championship season. At Coventry he sometimes even took on an attacking midfield role, such was his ability. Just how much game time Maatsen will get at the Euros is unclear, but it may well impact his Chelsea future. Dortmund are keen to sign him permanently after his successful loan, but have so far not triggered the £35 million release clause in his contract. Chelsea added that into his deal when offering him new terms earlier this year, before the loan, seemingly to ensure that they get what is deemed a good price for the player when he is sold, as much as to avoid entering his final 12 months at the club. Everton have initiated talks with Chelsea to sign Armando Broja, but they must raise funds to finalise a deal, according to The Athletic. The 22-year-old is poised to leave Stamford Bridge this summer after an awful loan spell at Fulham last term. Broja spent the second half of the season on loan at Craven Cottage, but barely kicked a ball for Marco Silva's side, falling behind Rodrigo Muniz and Raul Jimenez in the pecking order. Despite his recent struggles, the Albanian striker still has plenty of admirers in the Premier League, and Everton are among the clubs interested in signing him. However, any potential deal is only possible if the Toffees can raise funds. Everton are currently locked in a takeover saga, with current owner Fahad Moshiri in talks with several potential buyers. The British-Iranian businessman wants to sell his 94% stake in his club. He has received numerous proposals but is taking time to assess all options. The club's hefty debt complicates the takeover process. It is poised to drag into next season, but Everton are hoping to complete some transfer business regardless of their financial situation. The Toffees could be forced to sell a couple of key players, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin is most likely to be sacrificed. The English striker has already been linked with a move to Newcastle United, who are also long-term admirers of Everton midfielder Amadou Onana. Jared Branthwaite has also been linked with a move to Manchester United, although Everton are extremely reluctant to sell him unless a mouth-watering offer arrives. They value the England international at around £80 million, and their demands have put off several potential suitors. If Sean Dyche plans to strengthen his team, one of these players will have to leave Goodison Park this summer. Broja has struggled for form and fitness over the past couple of years, but is still an exciting young striker and could be a decent signing for Everton. It's fair to say that the past 18 to 24 months have not gone the way Armando Broja would have expected, predicted, hoped they would have. From a star turn on loan at Southampton that had multiple Premier League teams driving hard for his signature, only to be deterred in part by all the turmoil around Chelsea's ownership at the time, and then signing a new long-term deal with the Blues and scoring his first goal for the club. To an ACL injury suffered in a mid-season friendly, to sporadic involvement in the first half of last season, to an even worse time at Fulham in the second. Victor Osimhen is still planning to leave Napoli in this summer's transfer window, and will meet with his agent to discuss the situation soon following the news that Chelsea have cooled their interest in him. That's according to Fabrizio Romano, as he spoke exclusively to Court Offside for his latest daily column about Osimhen's future, with the Nigeria international's stance seemingly not changing. Romano recently reported that Chelsea were not working on signing Osimhen this summer, whilst also playing down links with Arsenal, and he's again spoken about being asked about the player by some Blues supporters. The 25-year-old certainly seems like he could be ideal for Chelsea's needs up front after some fine form in Serie A down the years, but he could be expensive and there'll likely be other tempting options out there who would not cost as much and who, crucially for Chelsea's project, would be younger. It seems Osimhen is still looking for a way out of Napoli, even if it's quiet on this saga at the moment, with the former Lille man set to discuss this with his agent soon, according to Romano. I've had some Chelsea fans asking me again about Victor Osimhen, as this story has seemed quiet recently. I still see Osimhen leaving, but at the moment the reality is that it is quiet, so we can only wait and see what happens, Romano said. Osimhen will meet with his agent in the next days to assess all the options and decide what's best for him. Osimhen's priority remains to leave Napoli this summer. The plan has not changed. John Duran to Chelsea as an alternative to Osimhen now seems most likely, according to another claim made by Romano in today's column. The striker position is the main position that is always spoken about as being the priority for the club this season. Nicholas Jackson is doing well of late, but he is the only recognised number 9 left at the Stamford Bridge club, with Armando Broja largely expected to be sold this summer. Chelsea need competition and quality reinforcements to come in, especially in the centre-forward area. One player they are linked to like every other day right now is Napoli striker Victor Osimhen, who is going to be leaving his club this summer. According to the latest report from La Gazzetta dello Sport, Osimhen wants to join Chelsea and the Blues can turn the striker's dream into reality by paying a release clause of circa €120 minus 130 meters. PSG have also been linked with Osimhen and are looking to challenge Chelsea for his capture. According to a report by Ebola, as relayed by Sport Witness, Antonio Silva is the subject of interest from Chelsea. The West London club offered more than €60 million to sign the Benfica defender, whose release clause is worth €100 million, but the Portuguese giants rejected the offer for the Manchester United target, pointing to his exit clause. Antonio Silva has established himself as one of the best young defenders in the world since breaking into the first-team squad at Benfica. He made his first senior bow as an 18-year-old, rose through the ranks at the Portuguese club, and has become a mainstay at the back. In addition, the Portuguese defender has also risen in stature on the international stage, with the Seleção. Meanwhile, the 20-year-old has turned out 68 times thus far for Benfica, chipping in with 6 goals. Silva's progress has not gone unnoticed, capturing the attention of several high-profile clubs, including Chelsea and Manchester United. Chelsea's interest in Antonio Silva stems from Thiago Silva's advancing years. The Brazilian defender will turn 40 this year and will likely leave the West London club in the summer transfer window. So, it behoves Chelsea to invest in a centre-back, with the Portuguese international emerging as a viable target. The report by Ebola, HT Sport Witness, has revealed that the Blues have failed with a bid worth €60 million. Benfica told Chelsea that Silva will only leave if a suitor triggers his release clause of €100 million. But recent updates have claimed that Chelsea and Manchester United are not ready to pay that sum to secure his services. Speaking of Manchester United, the Red Devils are also in the market for a centre-back.